Hey guys, welcome to the next commercial breakdown. Now this one's on a spot we did here at 567 for the keg. Now this was a 15-second spot, and the challenge that came with this spot was blending multiple takes to make them seem like they were seamless. So I'm just going to open up our master and just go all the way down to our cutting copy, which is our lower layer, so our offline. And I'm just going to make this full screen, and I'm just going to scrub through, and you'll see we've got one take, and the camera pans, pulls back, another take, and then we've got a direct cut, and then as the lobster gets put down, another cut because we've gone to a dolly up. So obviously the challenge here was stitching these together, which was a challenge in itself. The other thing to note too, if you're watching this, is the bottom of the screen is going to be cut off just below, and that's because I'm just capturing through the SDI out. So if you notice that, that's exactly what that is. So for the start of this, these first two bits were not super straightforward. We had to do a lot of blending and Roda to kind of blend these guys together. And if we go in to one of these setups, give it a sec, we'll see that this first one isn't loading, which is fun, so I'll just jump out. So this first one was just a whip pan with a little bit of Roda. The second one was the same thing, and what we ended up doing was grabbing this take from back to grab the handles, and then we ended up putting the lobster fins back on. So if we jump into that setup too and have a quick look, you can see there's a little bit going on here. Again, everything was made to blend the lobster with the current take, and if we just scrub through, we can see there was lots of little things to put shadow and highlight details back in. Give it a second. All right, the most challenging shot for this was actually the morph from the plate going down, if we go back to the offline, to the dolly pan up. So I'm going to jump into that setup and show you how that was built. So everything was then based off this back clip, which was the already pre-transitioned point, and we chose the point where we wanted it to come in and for the transition to happen. And this felt like a good spot because we had the hand, which kind of helped us to cover the transition. Go back to the source. There's just a little bit of cleanup on some color stuff that was taken care of by us. But if we go to the main one, and you see it was a pretty intricate amount of detail to go in to get these to blend properly. And again, like, these were just simply adding the shapes, tracking the shapes, and then blending and matching to taste. Now, there's a couple things. If we look at this, I'll just press F4 and then turn the icons off, is you'll see there's a couple giveaways. And the first one is the lemon here. If we go to the first frame, the lemon shape is obviously a different lemon and a totally different slice. The other thing is this little rice thing over here. If we scrub through, we see that changes too over time, and it's kind of a giveaway. So if I turn icons back on, you'll see again we chose and took our time to kind of choose the right spot to blend this, because there was lots happening, and for the most part I think we got away with it. So I'm going to jump out, and you'll see here all that's happening is there's a keyframe from this guy to the plate when after the morph, so we can actually have the outer res to pull back from, because we were doing the morph at 1920 1080, but the actual source, if we go back to it, is 2400 by 1350. So once that morph was done, we kind of found the problem areas. If I just jump out, the next layer was putting on the tentacles, which happened to fall off for whatever reason, and two was fixing these little giveaways, which was the lemon and this guy here. So if I jump into this setup, you see this is where a lot of the secondary kind of cleanup happened after the morph. So if I go to this guy and we scrub through, we'll see where this is. So this was just a kind of a dulling down of the actual wine glass as it went up. If we just see, it was doing some weird shapes, so we just took care of that. Now another step that once we go through here, and this will be, if we go in and toggle it on and off, this was where the blend actually happened for the rice. So we made sure it happened before the morph. And again, the great bit about this morph is this little hand helped us hide everything, because as the plate went down and as it pulled back, we kind of use that as a little hiding helper, if you will. You can see this one, which was actually, if I just toggle over here, this was our little our lemon. So again, the lemon wasn't going to work just with the traditional morph, so we again keyframe that on from a spot somewhere here, and then if I toggle on and off, you see the morph actually happened underneath. It doesn't work, but we kept that up, and then as it went up, we slowly faded that off, so you're not going to notice as it goes up. There's obviously a lot more some frame reading errors, which is fine. There was a lot more little tricks and cleanup and such, as you'd expect, but those are the key kind of areas that we focused on that kind of helped this kind of make it work. I'm just going to mute it and just play this transition and hope that it plays. And you see we get away with a pretty decent transition from one camera to another camera on a dolly. Obviously this will be up for you guys to have a look at and check out. Now there was an extra layer 2 on top, which was just a little kiss of motion blur. So if I just go up and down, this was just real smart motion blur just on top, just to kiss everything in. And then if I go to the top, there were some secondary little helpers just through batch effects, just making the butter a little bit nicer. And if we go over here, there was a little bit of a dulling of this this little guy here. So again, these are another batch effects just for the blur that happens on the background as it goes up. I toggle down, and just the little logo that fades up. So that's it for this breakdown. I hope you guys found that interesting and useful. Stay tuned for more.